Huh? Maybe.
I don't know.
You don't.
You're gonna have to make sure these drains are kept clean at all times. You don't have this dramatic look.
Yes, you do. It's still the exact same, just pushed back.
So the house that we were going to try to get up work on today, the price went up $3 grand. So they're
And at that point, I was just like, all right, let's go. Like, no. Okay, so the next day, like you were saying, we went and we sat down. My mom was there, my aunt was there with the salesperson, and she's like, okay, so what are your needs? What are you looking for? We're like, oh, we already know the floor plan that we want because it's the same house in the other neighborhood. And she's like, okay. And so she's asking us all these questions and stuff, and everyone's like kind of tiptoeing, being like, just not really, I mean, I'm giving straightforward answers, but Dexter's not really saying much, and we're kind of like tiptoeing. And she's like, what's going on here? Like, what's the deal? And
I mean, because we told her we were in the other neighborhood, we knew we wanted that floor plan because we were about to get it in the other neighborhood. And she asked, well, why didn't you buy in that neighborhood? And we were telling her is because the price went up, and that then put us out of our budget. And we were already stretching, and that definitely put us out of our budget. And that, you know, it's, but
and also the lake lot over there was going to be a very high premium versus in this neighborhood, they don't have lake lots, and we would have been fine with just like a normal lot.
At
basically.
that point, I wasn't.
He wasn't
yet over
at
the
all.
lake lot. Because the thing is, like, I had imagined myself coming home after a long day, sitting on the back patio and relaxing. The sound of the you know, the water, whatever, coming up and all that stuff, like that was going to be peaceful for me. And so, yeah, I hadn't emotionally detached from that house.
Like, he didn't want to be there. He didn't
I
want to
didn't
be
want
there.
to be there at all. I had
At all.
no desire whatsoever to be there.
And so she's like, okay, well, look, I don't want to force y'all to get something that you guys don't want, and I don't want y'all to be unhappy. So think about it, come back to me, all that stuff. And we're like, okay, cool. We go to another builder. Well, we went to multiple ones. So we end up at this one builder. We go in there, and I don't even remember, like, what was the process like going
into that house next door?
Oh, well, the one next door, I wasn't, like, I was kind of feeling it at first, and you were like, no.
Yeah,
You were like, no.
Because again, I didn't want to be there to begin with, and so I'm just kind of like over it. No.
Nope. You were like, nope.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, we'll go to the next one next door, and we go in there, and we're like, oh, this is the one with the really high ceilings, like, this is the one that was in the other neighborhood that we liked, whatever. So we go in there, and we talk to the sales guy there, and I don't even remember what happened that specific day.
We already knew how much it was going to cost, because this was one of the other houses I was poring over, pricing out, weighing pros and cons and options. And so we already knew what we would want in there, and he started really just talking to us about what we were looking for and how he might be able to make it happen, and then all the great things that were offered in that neighborhood. And so it was nice. And so we were at that point, we were like, okay, this is going to be the neighborhood.
Yeah.
And we were considering between the floor plan that we were about to build in the other neighborhood and this one. And
with the lady that was like, go back home and think about it.
Yeah.
So those are the two houses we were considering in this specific neighborhood. So we go back home, and I don't know how long it was. I can't remember the days and time frame and all that stuff.
It was a week later.
Okay, a week later, we go back out there.
And because the thing is, we were considering 2 floor plans with this other builder, and we wanted to see, there was another floor plan he had that had 13-foot high ceilings, and we wanted to see what that looked like built. And so we had scheduled a time with that sales consultant to go out to a neighborhood where it was finished and then go and look at it. So we went out with my mom and looked at that particular house, and
it was just the what do you call it was out. It wasn't finished. It was just
finished. It was the house was finished. I'm talking about the one we went to go visit, the 554 plan. That was finished in Long Meadow Farms.
Oh, in Long Meadow Farms.
Yes.
Okay.
So we went to go look at that house, took my mom out there, and then we had the whole rest of the morning scheduled to meet with the sales consultant to see what it was that we wanted to go with and if he would be able to meet our needs with our numbers. And so we went and we sat and we priced out with him all of the options and just got a general idea of what we wanted. And so we had already talked about, hey, there was this cul-de-sac lot we wanted to go with, and so and then but it was between these two plans on whether or not which lot in that cul-de-sac we got. And so we talked with him, and he was great. Like, dude was really great and connected with us. He was a really good salesperson, but also he was just really cool. He was connecting. Chelsea figured out that they had some people that they knew in common, and we actually realized that his sister had showed us some houses in another neighborhood because she also sells homes with another builder. And it was just like, that's crazy. This is such a small world. And so we had talked to him about, and he'd help us to weigh our options and gave us just the plain facts. And he had previously worked with another company that was going to be building houses next to this other home we wanted. And some of my kind of reservations about that particular section of the neighborhood.
Oh, another builder.
Yeah.
You said company, I was like, company.
Another builder, yeah. Anyway, my kind of hesitations, he helped to answer some real legitimate questions about quality of building and all this and that. So anyway, long story short, we talked to him, and we told him, all right, we need to go home, talk about this, sleep on this, pray on this, and then we also need to come back with our realtor. And so we had scheduled to come back with him the next day to then come and sit and talk about, well, is this something we're gonna do financially? And so we went and we were like, this is gonna be it, because with the other builder, I wasn't so comfortable with who they were building next to. Yes, this builder is building next to another builder that I didn't necessarily like the quality of the houses. Yeah. But the builder that this guy we were talking to, they were building next to a comparable quality builder. And so I was just like, okay, that is something that I want to go with far more, and I'm more comfortable with because of resale value and all this and that. But so we knew in our conversations that night, we ruled out the other builder. We're not going with that. If he's able to meet our numbers, then we're going with this house. And so we came back the next morning with Chelsea's aunt, and
he was like, what do y'all need? Mm-hmm. Like, what is it? Like, what's the number that y'all need in order for this to happen? Right. And we told him the people next door was giving us, how much?
They were giving us like 25.
Yeah, something like that. And so we were incentives. Like, yeah. Well, no, they were just giving us
$25,000 to play with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so we told him that we wanted $20,000 at the design center, mm-hmm. and $10,000 off the base price, right?
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, which by the way, at this point in time, we're not looking at a quote unquote new build, new construction. We're now looking at an inventory home.
And so basically what that means is the builder had already spec'd out a house with this same floor plan that we liked, mm-hmm. to start building, to just build and then sell it to somebody. Yeah. And so when we went to go look back at the lot, I just so happened to pop the question, so you were building the same floor plan on these lots, on this lot, what would it be like? Is there any benefit to us getting in on that, even though you haven't started building? And he was like, oh yeah, because when I started that, the base price of the house was like $6,000 cheaper, and but you still would get to choose all your options. You just can't change any structural things or anything like mm-hmm. that. And so we then weighed that, and then the house came out to be cheaper and more advantageous if he were to give us the incentives that we wanted.
Yeah, so we asked him for the $20,000 off the design center, $10,000 off the house, and he was like, hey, I gotta make a phone call. Let me see what I can do. So my aunt Dexter and I went around the model home, and we were just talking, and we were like talking to each other like, okay, so if this happens, this is what we're gonna do. If he comes back and he says this, we'll ask for this, and all this stuff. And so probably about 15 minutes later.
Because we had agreed, so we said we wanted that amount, but we knew, like we said, okay, but if he comes back and he is $5,000 under what we want, then we'll go. But if he goes any lower than that, then we're walking.
Yeah. So he comes back and we're in the kitchen and all he does is just this. He's just like, and my aunt goes, so what'd he say? And he was like, and I'm like, I turn to Dexter and I go,
Right.
meaning he was only gonna be able to get us 5,000.
Right.
I just
Not
knew
the
that
20
that's
that we wanted.
right. And so
we sit down and he starts just putting paper on the table and we're like, what? And I'm like, so what did your boss say? He was like, oh yeah, we got it. And I was like, what?
So then we start high-fiving each other and we're like, yeah, let's go. And we're so excited and everything. And we're high-fiving my aunt. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is actually gonna happen today.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna happen today. And we're like, what is going on? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So.
The easiest negotiation ever.
Right. And so the biggest thing is that like at the design center, we're talking about having $20,000, and we'll have a whole separate video on design center stuff. But having the $20,000 at the design center, that's where you pick out the granite. So for the countertops, the cabinet colors, the flooring, all that is lumped into that cost. It has nothing to do with the total cost of the house. So it's all gets added on pretty quickly. But that $20,000 like helped out a lot, and we'll talk about that later on, like I said. So. We start signing the papers and it's a million different papers, and then he wanted his earnest money. And earnest money is basically just money that it's kind of like the down payment. Not even down payment, because down payment is a whole other thing once you go to close. But it's kind of like the deposit, I guess you could say.
To say like, we're serious, we're building this house. Yeah.
And some builders are like, there was one builder in a completely different neighborhood. Their earnest money was only $75.
Yep.
Some people do a percentage, a 1 to 3% type of deal. Not 3%.
Here they did a flat rate.
Yeah, here they did a flat rate. So everything's online, which is great. We decided to actually start going through the process, and probably we were looking at getting our loan through their lender. And by doing that, we then also got an extra $3,000 off at closing, which we ended up putting that $3,000 towards points, basically lowering our interest rate.
So yeah, we signed the papers and we then went out with our sales consultant, and his name is Jack. We're gonna call him Jack because we're gonna talk about Jack
because
that's his name. We're gonna talk about him more, I'm sure. But we went out there, we put our sold sign on our land. We said, this is ours, come and take it. Yeah, that was it. But case in point is, after our long and exhaustive search, blocking the microphone, but that's okay. After all of the searching and all these builders that we went to go see, y'all, so these are mounds and mounds of like packets of information from builders that we went to go see. We're done. Yeah. We're done. Our search is over. We have found our home.
Who's our builder?
So our builder that we have selected is none other than Highland Homes.
Yes. And
yeah.
Oh, it says it on the front too.
Yep.
Yeah. So we're excited. We'll take you out throughout this process. Our next video will probably be about the design center.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be the next one.
Yep.
So.
Cool.
Well, thanks for watching, y'all. We're super excited about this. They're saying September, October, but we've
already delayed the process.
Yeah, we've already delayed the process because we want it to be November.
Yeah.
So.
But we've delayed the process because of our selections and all this.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're trying to
more like November.
We're hoping for it, but we have our first pre-construction meeting on Friday, so
we'll see.
We're ready. So thanks so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
We get the next one realistically. Every other week.
We'll see. But see you next week.
Deuces. Make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button.
And press the thumbs up. Thanks, guys.
Good stuff. We never started recording yet.